Officially recording.
Yay!
Hi, Jahi. It is so exciting to finally get this together because I know we'd been talking about it.
Yeah, hello, what's up?
Hello. Are
How are
we when are
you?
we heading to the East Coast? You said you're going to be in Connecticut?
Yeah, I'm playing my college, my alma mater.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm DJing at Wesleyan. So I'm gonna go up there and do that. Should be good.
Yeah. What's going to be the vibe for that one?
I don't know. You know, whatever songs people we used to listen to in college, it's like I've been out of college forever now. I graduated in 2001, so this is 25
Wow.
years for me.
That's so exciting. That must feel very like serendipitous.
It's great to be able to like full circle stuff like that. You know what I mean? I DJ'd graduation weekend when I was in college, so 25 years later to do the reunion weekend or whatever. It's nice.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, actually, for anyone who maybe isn't familiar or like, super used to what it is that you do you want to give a little bit of an intro into who you are?
My name is Jahi Sundance. I'm a musician, DJ, a record producer, um, a lot of things in music. But yeah, that's what I do. I do a lot of music jobs.
All the different hats to wear.
Yeah.
When you were younger and you were kind of being raised on the saxophone and on all these different musical environments, what made you decide to pursue more so DJing over things like the saxophone or other avenues?
I mean, I was playing saxophone all through high school and college. And I think that DJing just was more exciting. You know what I mean? Already knew what a career playing the saxophone looked like because my father, Oliver Lake, was a saxophone player. So I had already, and all, I was around many saxophone players. So I had already got to see that. But I didn't really know what a DJ career looked like. And also, DJing was more, I don't know, it felt younger. It was more fun at the time, you know what I mean? It's still very fun, but it was like when I was starting then, it was more fun than practicing my saxophone.
That's
And
fair.
I was like naturally going to practice DJing more than I was like going to practice saxophone. So I just went where I was focusing rather than like trying to force my focus onto something else.
Was there ever a part of you that felt you were almost like obligated to pick up the saxophone and learn it?
So I had to. We did have to play an instrument, but we didn't have to play. I didn't have to play saxophone. I could have. You could pick. That was the rule growing up. Like you had to play something, but you could pick whatever you want, and you could switch at any time. They never beefed about because I switched instruments a few times, but my parents never beefed about me. You know, the only beef would be if you weren't playing an instrument.
What were some of the others you tried out?
I played clarinet. I played piano for a long time in like the school band and stuff. I tried to play drums for like a couple of days, but that was a
See,
mistake.
ironically, I tried with the Woodwind Avenue, I tried to play the flute, and I was like,
Uh,
I physically am incapable of doing
no,
this.
you couldn't make a
I couldn't
noise. You
make a
couldn't get
sound.
no sound.
No, I felt like a failure. And my dad was like, you'd make like a pretty cool girl drummer. And so I was like, all right. So that was what drove me to percussion. And then I remember being a little kid and you had the whole like percussion set where you're literally dragging around like a freaking xylophone
Yep,
and have to lift it onto the school bus and I'd be like, this wasn't what it panned out to be.
this isn't what I thought it was gonna be.
No, not at all. But it was always funny because I'd always be like the only girl in the percussion section. And
Okay.
I think that there's always gonna be stereotypes about drummers, and I think the boy drummers in middle and high school very much lived up to the stereotypes. And I was like the mother goose, like, just trying to circulate them throughout.
Aw,
Yeah,
keep them all together.
exactly. How, pivotal was your more, like, adolescent musical experiences in relation to where you are now?
I feel like the music that you fall in love with in your adolescence is your forever music, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the attachment that you're gonna make forever. So I did that just like everybody else, and I was lucky, and I was lucky to be like going through puberty during like one of the best times in hip hop.
Yeah,
91, 97.
yeah.
Yeah, I was in there. You know what I mean? Like I just had a really good time.
And I know that one of the people that your dad used to, like, frequently work with was Nas's father, right?
Olu, yeah. So Olu was around a lot, and when I was born, I have this in my room right now. I have this little like bag that has some stuff inside of it, like a little handmade bag that he gave me when I was born. It's like a blessing. I don't want to misspeak because I don't know which exact spiritual practice it comes from, but it comes from a deep spiritual practice that he's involved in. That Olu gave that to me when I was a little kid.
That's so beautiful. How do you feel now, I mean, working with someone like Robert who did have kind of these, like, undercurrents and these movements of music that not everybody really knows about?
Working with Rob has been amazing. I mean, as far as working with people who are popular, I don't know. I don't really know what the question was really. Can you help me understand the question again?
I guess in terms of, like, so many people don't exactly know the depths of Robert's influence on things like hip hop. And
Okay.
so just being a fan of hip hop and being someone that really grew up on the genre, how has that felt almost like full circle for you?
Oh, okay. Well, it's like it's almost the other way. It's almost the other way around. Rob has had a lot of influence on hip hop, but that didn't happen until in hip hop had a lot of influence on Rob. Right there, one definitely comes first,
Mhm.
and the one that came first is the one that's the most important because it was a part of the representation of what it is that you're trying to bring to any music for any individual. Somebody's like racing a bike down the street. Any music for any individual is gonna be should be a reflection of what you're going to bring to that music, which is about your personal thing and what you're gonna do to declare yourself as who you are. And that is a huge important piece. And for as far as hip hop is concerned, like there's been already people doing jazz and hip hop, but there was a bridge that was built, and Robert was the first jazz musician to really cross the Dilla Bridge,
Mhm.
which is a different bridge than the other bridges that were built doing jazz hip hop projects prior to this time.
Gotcha. And where would you say that falls for you? Like, would you say your influence came more so from hip hop, or would you like to say that you're more so influencing hip hop nowadays?
I like to think that what I'm doing is influencing DJing. That's for sure. I like to think that. You know what I mean? I don't know how true it is, but but I like but I like to think it. And like the music is so wide now and so global and so vast that obviously just like anything else, like you're gonna be in. That's what music and all art. And there's no creative pursuit without a little of without a little influence. You got to be influenced by something. Nobody's growing up in a cave and coming up with rap. It's a community. There's no raps outside of community.
Right. But I think one thing that you definitely have influenced has been like, at least even just in my eyes as a spectator of so much of this, is almost like the role of the DJ. I think that there are so many times in which people see the band and then they see the DJ, and there's not as much of that like correlation in people's eyes. But what you do is like you showcase so much of DJing being an instrument in the way that you use different sounds and different layers, and I think that's really cool.
Well, thank you. First of all, that's the purpose and the goal of what I've been doing, and it started with um, Michelle and Cello giving me a space to experiment on stage with her on tour many years ago, back in 2003. Since then, I've been working on this style of DJing that really is approaching the turntable and approaching the use of the turntable to serve the purpose of being in a band.
Mhm.
And there's been a lot of DJs in bands before me who were approaching this in a way where it felt like the DJ was being featured during a part of the show, and also the DJ can add scratches to any song. And that seemed to be the definition of the possibilities for DJing with bands.
Yeah.
So those DJs DJ with bands, and I was trying to come up with a way to be in the band, to
Mhm.
be completely and totally inseparable from the music that was happening, not a sprinkle on top of the music that was happening,
Yeah.
but to be completely and totally foundational to the goal of the music, the goal of what we're all trying to do on stage together. And that's something that took some time to develop, and something that, you know, is also not recognized by everyone. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah, but it's also something that I feel like is very original to me. And this is where I get on my soapbox a little bit, because I feel like I invented something. I feel like I started something. I feel like I pioneered a style of DJing with bands that will last, that other people will do.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the thing is it challenges so much of what people know or what people think that they know. And I think especially in this generation of music, we have the freedom and the variety and the openness to be able to explore all those different things, which is really special and very cool. Would you say
Absolutely.
that there have been moments for you in which maybe like you felt misrepresented as the DJ in a group? Like either it was maybe the way someone spoke to you or it was the way like someone wrote about you or anything like that?
The only people who, the only haters are really just internet commenters. And I kind of, that's not a writer. That's
Yeah.
not a publication. That's not anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. One guy, one guy. We were doing a song. I feel like it's a Herbie's tune called "I Have a Dream," and we're doing this song, the "I Have a Dream" song. Obviously, we're from Martin Luther King, and I'm playing it, and I like put some Martin Luther King speeches in the song. And one of the guys on the internet, he said, "I came to see a jazz concert, and Martin Luther King yelling at me is not what I wanted, not what I came here for." That shit was super funny. I was like, if you didn't come here for a little Martin Luther King, you're in the wrong place.
That's
We all
a
black. Everybody on the
crazy
stage is
statement.
black.
That's a
Everybody on the stage is
crazy
black.
statement.
What are you talking about?
Have you felt because one of my like standout moments from the last time I saw you guys, and one of the big differentiations that I felt when I saw you guys at like City Winery versus a more kind of like more traditional venue for us here in
Okay.
Philly was the second go around was more creative, but also definitely more politically forward. Um, I loved it because you guys literally turned a Dilla beat into like a fuck ice chant, like a fuck ice song. And that's very much like right up my alley.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel the pressure to be outspoken with your music right now, or do you feel like it just comes naturally and it feels like this calling?
I mean, there is pressure to do that, but we I don't accept that kind of pressure, and neither does Rob. It's not necessarily about accepting pressure and making a move based off that because that's going to be a false move. It's about alignment.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we are not we are pro human being, and we're also pro, no body is illegal type situation. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? These are people. Anyway, that's a different argument. But but to express that, we were already doing that song,
Yeah.
and that song goes, playing the sea. You can't change me because I'm gonna beat a nigga with ice, and they're just balling, like talking about, having nice jewelry, and you can't check. I'm that guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we used to do that song already as part of the set before, well before ICE was armed as a paramilitary, before this current iteration of ICE.
Right.
And so when we started doing it one night, it was just like, in the mic, and Rob was just like, and I was like, I'm gonna be the nigga with ICE. And then I was like, and then I turned to him and was like, fuck ICE. He was like, oh. And then we changed it, and then that's it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it worked really well. So now almost every time we do that song, now we do that.
I
But
love
being political is like a part of my approach because I was performing with bands that were doing instrumental music a lot, and a lot of the time, the audience member kind of gets to apply the meaning to the song when, in fact, there may be some more intended.
that.
Something specific may be intended, and if something is specific is intended, then I can provide that context for the listener in a creative way. For the audience, I can provide that context that then allows them to get the intended meaning. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so, politics wise, that's something that's always been part of my approach towards my role, has always been some political context as well.
Yeah. I love that because I think that it's definitely very easy to tell when it feels forced, but I think at the same time, so many of us right now have the platforms to be able to speak up for so many that aren't able to speak up. And it's like, even then, as people from marginalized communities, like, we still have to be mindful of that. But we're still given this ability to do so. So I host these shows here in Philly. And so the last one that I had booked this Palestinian rapper who's like
Okay.
amazing. He's been on like Sway in the Morning and everything. Um, and I was kind of grappling with it because I was like, well, it's not like I can donate all the proceeds of this to like a charity or something because at the end of the day, I need to pay all the artists.
Yeah, people
And
gotta get paid.
exactly. And so that was kind of like one way that I tried to almost reword it for people was like, this isn't a fundraiser. I wish it could be, but it also didn't feel like natural to me to market it as that. And so I
Hmm.
was basically saying like every ticket that you're purchasing is supporting a black or brown creative. Like
Right.
whatever their role is, they're getting paid, and that is part of the struggle right now too. And so I think so many people don't realize like all the things that go into taking those courageous strides, because it's like you could lose opportunities, you lose fans, like there's such a double-edged sword there, but at the same time it's such a necessity right now.
Well, playing the middle so that you can hit everybody and have a maximum profit is like a strategy for a person who is selling um you know like couches or like like variations of Uno, like, or you know what I mean? Like it that whole like play the middle thing is not really a part of art.
Right.
That's really for selling widgets.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I'm the CEO of widget.com, I really shouldn't be giving my political opinions about shit.
Right.
But that's not the job of artists, right? And in any way, like
Right.
the foundational artists, the foundational master teacher Nina Simone taught us, what our job is. She told us what our job is,
Yeah.
to reflect the times, and that is artist's duty, as far as I'm concerned. She went on to say. So there is no like. There's no separation. Everything is political, right? Every act is, in this context that we live in, every act is a political act, right?
Yeah.
Disconnecting from the system is a political act.
Yeah.
Connecting to the system is a political act. Breathing every day is a political act.
Yep.
We have as human beings on this planet, we have controlled our environment to the point where there is no space free from politics anymore.
Yes. And that's also like kind of aligned with that. People don't realize how much silence is political.
Everything is a political act.
Yeah.
Once you're unless you live like again, unless you're living by yourself in a mountain, which is impossible because you had to be born, right?
Yeah.
Everything's a political act.
Yeah. I love that. I do want to make sure that we take a little bit of time to talk about Love Isn't Enough, though,
Oh,
which
sure. Talk
hilariously
about
enough, the title feels especially apt after this conversation. um, so you released this in 2021, is that correct?
21, yeah. I have a
How,
second album that's done, and
okay.
it's called Every Love Story is a Tragedy.
Oh my God, we really have a recurring theme here, Johnny. Are we okay after the pandemic?
Well, I'm gonna do three of these. This is the second one is finished. I just haven't put it out yet. But I'm gonna do three of these because I feel like this has kind of been,
Yeah.
it's a personal reflection.
When have you already started the process on the third one, or are you kind of taking it one step at a time?
I mean, I have some ideas about the third one, but I gotta put the second one out first.
Yeah. Well,
But the first one
the first
is
one's
out,
there.
and basically, like, a labor of love during the pandemic. Also, something that for any musicians watching this or any artists watching this, this album changed my life, but not in the way that like people say albums change their life, because I didn't make a dollar. I lost money making this record.
Yeah.
Um, but it changed my life in terms of it changed the perception that people had of me within my own community,
Mhm.
my own musician community. So any artist, like no matter, even if not a musician, anybody who's doing any art, the idea that I'm going to say to you is have your own, create your own under under all no matter what's happening. Even if you're an actor and you got a job on a you got a main role in a series that's shooting 75 episodes and you're about to get paid, like you need to have your own script that you wrote in your pocket. Even if it never comes out, it is going to change the perception of the people around you about what you're capable of. So my album, when I made it, I made the goal of the album for everybody that I know to listen to it.
Mhm.
My only goal for success was, if everybody I know listens to this album, then this is a success. Because that's all I need. All I need is the people around me to pay attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't need the whole world to pay attention to what I'm doing. And if they end up paying attention to what I'm doing, that's because of the fact that the people around me did it first and it grew.
Yeah.
So the part of making this record was an exercise in that. And the other part of it was just, I was immensely heartbroken and really needed to make this record.
Yeah. Out of everyone around you that did listen to it, that was kind of within your circle, your safe space, was there any piece of feedback that stuck out with you the most or like really resonated with you even in the creation of the second part?
The fact that I started this too late, you know, that really fucked me up.
Yeah.
When like Miguel and Thundercat came to my house when the first record came out, they came to the house. I've been knowing both of them a long time, so this is not name dropping. I knew both of them. I've been friends with the both of them since before each one of them had their record deals. We've been friends since 2010.
Yeah.
Um, maybe even earlier, maybe 9 or 8. They both came to the house when the record came out, and they both said the same shit. Man, why? Where you been? Why it took you this long? So I saw Jeff say that, Jazzy Jeff say that shit on the internet. He said, "Die empty." That's the real shit. Have you seen that clip of him talking about dying empty?
No, I haven't.
Watch that clip. It's
Okay.
Jeff doing a podcast, and he's talking about die empty, and he's looking in the camera, and he's like, I know guys who died with shit on their computer,
Yeah.
and that shit is gonna stay on their computer. So he's like, put that music, put it out. That record, that this, that
Yeah.
this, put it out, put it out, put it out. As an artist, you should die empty. You should be out of shit when you're leaving the planet. It should all be out there.
Yeah.
And he's right. And I didn't listen. A lot of people don't listen. It's hard to get through that. Like, it was always easy for me to perform and be on stage playing other people's music, and it was easy for me to produce other people's songs. It's easy for me to write with other people in the studio.
Yeah.
But when it came time for me to put my own voice on the record and sing the songs myself and all that kind of shit, and getting through that is another beast.
Were you able to communicate your message in the same way that you're able to when you chop up samples and things like that? Or did you feel like you were so much more meticulous with every word?
I feel like recording a record it's not the same process as performing. Like, performing is much looser than recording because recordings are gonna hopefully last forever.
Mhm.
I mean, I doubt that now that recordings are digital only. That's a huge mistake because
Yeah.
that means they might not last forever because they're not in your control. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, someone could just turn them off. Um, so, but the recordings are supposed to last forever, and so it's not the same kind of process of creation. So yeah, on stage, shit is a lot looser, and there is a lot more space to try stuff because once the show's over, that's over.
Yeah.
But in the studio, I try to focus up a little more and deliver things that are, appropriate for the record that I'm working on.
Is there anything that you are like, I want to make sure that I do this differently with the second part? Or are you like, I loved the direction of it and I almost just want it to feel like it's like if you play them back to back, it's the same album?
Yeah, I want all three of them to feel like they go together.
Mhm.
I don't want them to feel like different projects. So hopefully this second one is in the flow of the first one, hopefully, because I think it is. But
Yeah.
sometimes you don't be knowing what the fuck you're doing.
Was there a song on the first album just giving the subject matter and then obviously kind of like coming out of the pandemic and everything, were any of those songs the most challenging just to process emotionally?
That whole thing was challenging to process emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff for me is like really personal stuff. It's all very, I had like one big relationship that kind of defined, a big portion of my experience for that time in my life and also since that time in my life.
Yeah.
And that yeah, that's something that I'm not finished talking about musically because this second record is kind of about that same thing.
Yeah. Did this
Yeah.
person listen to
I I believe they did.
it?
They heard the first one. The second one's not out yet, but I think they heard the first one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was watching the music video for Everyone But You.
Oh,
And
with the cartoon?
yeah, and it's hilarious because I was watching it and I was like, wow, this really reminds me of BoJack Horseman. And in having a conversation with you, I'm like, you seem like someone who would watch BoJack
Yeah, I
Horseman.
know BoJack Horseman. That shit was good. It was super
It's
funny.
like
I liked it.
that. It's funny because I was watching it and I was like, oh wow, this is so not similar because the styles are so different, but almost this like personalization of animals to communicate like
Hmm.
very deep feelings. Like with BoJack Horseman, I couldn't finish it because I was like, also during the pandemic, this is literally going to make me lose my sanity. But why did you choose to go the route of using animals, like especially to represent yourself?
Well, I was in love with sloths before sloths were hot. Like sloths are hot right now. Everybody loves them. But I've been a fan since I was a little kid. So, since I was small, 2 years old. Other kids like lions and tigers and shit, and I was like super into sloths because they didn't really do much.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been a theme of my life. Like I don't like to physically move around a lot, and I never did. Like I never did. I never had like a period of extreme activity. They tried to make me because I'm tall, so they tried to make me like play the basketballs and shit like that. It just didn't work out. But so I love sloths, and so when I started this whole thing, I was kind of like, what am I gonna do? Oh, and I was like, I know, I'll make myself a sloth. And then that was it. I just started talking to my artist friends, and I was like, turn me into a sloth. And then I had all those designs, and then I made like T-shirts out of it and
Yeah.
patches and other stuff. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, there's a really like particular vibe to just like your branding and everything. Like the types of graphics that you use and even just like the fonts and stuff are very it's not just like an artist creating a brand kit or something. Like it's
Hmm.
all very intentional. And I know that you also have quite an interest in like the visual arts as well. Like you have quite an art collection, right?
Yeah, I've been working on my art collection for a while, and I have some great stuff. Oh, here, you want to see one? This one you
Yeah.
might like. Bilal, singer.
Yeah, of course. I live in Philly. Of course I do.
Have you seen any of his stuff?
I haven't
Here,
seen
look.
his that's amazing. Yeah, I've
He's
never
doing
seen any of
these.
his artwork.
He's been doing these nudes of these plus size chicks, and they are so good. Pencil drawings, they're amazing.
Yeah, the shading on that is
Amazing.
gorgeous.
Yeah, amazing.
Do you want to
Oh, and I just got this.
show me?
Look, this guy, I ordered some art from him, and then he did a picture of me as Miles Davis
Oh, that's
on the
so
corner, on the
cool.
corner cover. You're right.
That's so
That's
rad.
the box he sent it to me in because I
I
ordered
love
some.
that.
I ordered some portraits of Miles Davis from him that are on another shelf.
I love that. Yeah, I love anything like visually. My house looks like a rainbow threw up in it, but it brings me happiness. So that's all that matters. I had actually, I'll show you this. A good friend of mine. painted that like mural. And
Around the window there,
yeah, and my favorite part is he hid in little donuts in there.
I see little records of from here.
Yeah, they're little records. He put in little donuts. Like we tried to kind of model it
Oh,
after like a very Indian, like paisley henna pattern style.
okay. Do
But
you
yeah,
like donuts?
well, I mean, I have a lot of donut motifs in the house.
Okay.
I always grew up on Jay Dilla, you know, and that was such a that was kind of like what introduced me into the depths of hip hop. You
Okay,
know,
yeah, sure.
I was a lot younger, and I remember I was in high school, and I used to talk to a lot of old people on the internet. It honestly makes a lot of sense for who I am. A lot of chat rooms I shouldn't have been in.
You
Um,
sure?
but one person had sent me a whole like discography of Dilla, and it had really cool unreleased like niche
Oh,
things.
you got like a line. You got like a lime wire with a
Yeah,
folder.
yeah, literally, and I had it on my like little flip phone.
Yeah.
And all the guys in school, I was also very nerdy, but like the guys in school knew that I loved hip hop, and they'd be like, "Oh, Shauna, like let me spit this rap for you,"
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they'd spit it, and I'd be like, "Okay, but you can't spit over this," and then they'd be like, "What is this garbage?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" So it honestly launched my music career very early on. But that's why I love artists that are able to like go so outside of the box where it's almost like creating a genre or a sound of your own, right? Like it, I mean, he has a whole time signature dedicated to his style. So it's like that movement of like, it's just such a dedication to music that surpasses fame and notoriety, and more so is just like for the actual love and like dedication to it. And I think that's really amazing.
Well, I think that people confuse things, especially in the modern time. Like I was like being being famous is like different from being known for what you do. Like being famous involves like a certain amount of ownership from
Yeah.
the audience that really didn't doesn't apply to a lot of artists who are actually having boundaries and living, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I and there's certain people who just get to do their art and die, and that's
Yeah.
fucking cool. You know what I mean? And they don't ever become famous. They become very known,
Yeah.
but they don't ever become famous. And that being known is something I desire very much because I want people to know that what I've been done on my instrument. But being famous is not desirable.
I feel the exact same way. Like I always said that even with my publication, I was like, I wanted to reach a level in which the people that I admire know who I am, or like understand what it is that I'm trying to do. If I was a celebrity, I'd get myself canceled in 5 minutes. I'd say something stupid and I'd be like, oh God. And that like fragility of just your life, and it's very much like the glass house, like casting stones at a glass house, where every single thing that you're saying, that you're doing, is being monitored, being scrutinized, being taken out of context. Like, that does not sound like a fun life to live by any means. I feel like I want to be able to have my moments of silence and solitude, and then I want to also have my moments of community and recognition, and just that balance is
Mhm.
important.
Absolutely.
But I was gonna say, going back to the art, the visual art element, a little bit. How are you going to incorporate your love for the visual arts with these three albums? Is that something that you want to do?
Oh well, the cover of the first album and the cover of the second album are both artworks by Sanford Biggers.
Okay.
And Sanford, will probably do the third one too. So all three covers will be artworks by Sanford. Really amazing artist. If you don't know his stuff, check him out. Um, And then, just that's like the main way that visual art will be with those three records. And then there's kind of like a plan for once I finish these three to like put them all out on vinyl and kind of have the cases make some, you know what I mean? We put
Love
them all
that.
together and they
Yeah.
make another something. There's like a plan like that. And so we're just chugging along. But this personal shit it's priority, but it's also not like my number one priority, because my number one priority is not to be a successful solo uh artist. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So it's here and I'm doing it, but it's not like my main.
Yeah. And do you have any shows coming up that you're like especially looking forward to?
I've been doing this project with Derek Hodge with the LA Phil, where we play the music of Tupac.
Oh, cool.
So it's like LA Phil orchestral arrangements, and then I'm doing Tupac. I put the Tupac vocals on top of that stuff,
That's amazing. That's really cool.
like pieces of his interviews and shit like that. So I really love that gig. I mean, I love all the gigs in the band with Robert, because you know, as a creative DJ, it's a chance to be creative every night. So I love that.
Yeah.
And then we're playing right now with Dave Chappelle for a couple of nights here in LA. So I got to do that again tonight. We did it last night, and we'll do that tomorrow night.
Very
That's super
nice.
cool. And then, I'm in an art band
Tell us
with,
more.
it's called Moon Medicine, and that's with Sanford and Martin Luther, the singer Martin Luther from the Bay, and Sanford Biggers, the artist. The three of us made that band, and that's a really interesting band. We only perform at institutions. The show is really crazy. It has like lots of costumes and lighting and video and giant like set pieces and stuff. So that's the really interesting band to be in. I love that band.
Yeah.
And then I'm in my bands with McBride, Christian McBride. I'm in a couple of formations with him. So just being able to do all this stuff has do all this stuff as a DJ creatively has kept me going, because I got friends who are kind of stuck
Yeah.
in that nightclub loop,
Yep.
and they're all pretty upset right now. Not upset with the money they making. They all making money,
Yeah.
but they upset with let's say they're upset with the specifics of their current gig,
Yeah. I can
because
understand that.
what are you going to end up doing if that's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Especially if you're making bread. Like, there's guys who are playing the nightlife, ain't making no bread. They might be having more fun,
Right.
but the guys who are making money, they're not really having a good time.
Yeah.
No, it's become kind of like homogenized, like it's pasteurized. Everything got pasteurized
Yeah.
because you know
Yeah. And I think that this world is showing day by day that all of like the monetary, the financials, all of that is so just irrelevant at the end of the day, because where is that actually getting us? It's not making people happy. It's not solving all the problems in the world. Like, it's not.
it's never gonna do those things, but it's also gonna take a violent revolution to deal with any of this,
Yeah.
to change any of that stuff.
I think we're on our way there. I have a good feeling about
A
it.
violent revolution? I
I
don't
think
think so.
so.
Oh well, let's see what happens.
Anyways, on that note, once again, before I get myself in trouble, where on social media can people find you? Can people keep up with your shows?
It's Jahi, Jahi Sundance, on all the things. Is either a combination of Jahi Sundance or just Jahi. If I was early enough, I think on Twitter I got Jahi because I was early on Twitter, but everything else is Jahi Sundance on
Okay,
everything,
perfect. And Love Isn't Enough is streaming everywhere now. Do we have
on
an
all the things.
idea of when part two will be?
Yeah, I want to have it out by the end of the summer. I'm just trying to create a runway and put a plan together so that I can have the best release that I could have.
Yeah.
That's all I need. That's all and I just need to commit the funds. But I've been committing my funds to starting a new project that I'm doing. So,
Yeah.
hopefully I made the right choice. But we'll see. I don't know. It'll be out by the end of the summer.
Well, people can keep up with
That's
you on social media, follow you on
yeah.
streaming platforms to know when that will be happening.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, Jahi. I'm just going to end
Thank you
the
so much.
stream. Did I end the stop sharing?